Is this $59.99 truck bed extender from Harbor Freight any good? We're gonna break it all down today. Hey guys, James Erickson here and welcome back to Fish It First. I'm gonna tell you what I like about this bed extender, what I wish was different, and then whether or not I'd recommend it to y'all. But before that, let's start with some specs. The bed extender is made by Hallmaster. It's constructed entirely of steel and it's pretty solid. The welds on this bed extender are not exactly beautiful, but they have held up on many highway miles. It is a low gloss black color. It's not powder coated, it's painted. And to be perfectly honest, that paint chips fairly easily. You're probably gonna run into some rust issues if you're using this long term or if you're on either side of the coast. Now, the bed extender itself will actually extend on my 2016 Tundra with the bed down, of course, will extend from the back of the bed all the way to the back of the bed extender over 3 feet. The bed extender has 2 tie-down cleats that are welded to the cross beam, and you've got about 46 inches, just a little bit over 46 inches of clearance between the 2 of those. To give you a frame of reference, I've got some photographs of my kayak on the bed extender, and I'll show you those right now. In terms of height adjustment, there are 5 different height settings for this cross beam for the bed extender, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more later because this may or may not work for you. So a lot of people will put some kind of cushioning system on the cross beam of their bed extender. I like to use pool noodles. If you want to do this, you just cut your pool noodle to size, cut a seam down the length of the pool noodle, stack them on top of each other. I think 3 works pretty well. You can zip tie them down. I've got a lot of highway miles on this. It's held up beautifully, and you've got that kayak resting on something soft instead of being on that hard metal cross beam. Compliance with safety regulations from state to state is going to vary. Here in Minnesota, I had to get a couple of stick-on reflectors and put those on there. I've got one on each side. I think they were like $3 for 2 of them, a 2-pack at Harbor Freight. So super affordable option. And then I also had to have a flag on the back of my kayak as well as a little battery-powered LED light. If you guys are looking for these products, go down to the video description. I'll have everything linked down there for you. And while you're down there, if you like these videos and want to see more like this, be sure to subscribe and then click that little bell notification on the side of it. Installation of this bed extender is pretty simple and can be done fairly easily with one person. Now you'll notice as I'm putting that in there, there's some gray stuff on the end of mine. That's a little bit of duct tape. While the fit on this is pretty good straight out of the box, if you put a little something around the outside of it, you can get just a little bit tighter fit. But as you can see, very simple to put that into your hitch receiver there. You're going to have a little bit of play at the receiver, which is normal with anything, but just realize that a little bit of play here at the receiver extended back over 3 feet rather, is going to result in quite a bit of play back here. So what I like, what I wish was different, and whether or not I would recommend this bed extender to you. Well, what I like primarily is the cost. When I was looking at bed extenders, they can be upwards of $200. This one comes in at $60, which is seemingly a great budget option. I knew I only needed a bed extender to get my kayak from Duluth, Minnesota to Warwood, Minnesota, so really I only needed to use it once. So the price at $60 was a big attraction for me. It's also lightweight. It's very easy to assemble and disassemble, to hook up and take down. Fits in the back of the truck bed very easily. Also fits in the cab of the truck if for whatever reason your truck bed was full and you had to put it in there. All of those things are great. Things that I wish they had done differently, and this is an important one. You've got to pay close attention here because it depends on what truck you have. I've got a 2016 Tundra, and you'll notice that I don't have this directly into the receiver of my truck. I've got this receiver adapter here that actually raises the elevation up. And the reason for that is that even with these 3 pool noodles on and the bed extender on the highest setting possible, it still would not come up to the level of my truck bed. Again, it's a 2016 Tundra. When I looked up reviews of this bed extender, I didn't see a lot of people having an issue with that. So it may work fine with your truck, but you've got to know this because I didn't. And that receiver adapter was probably around $30. So that takes your $60 apparatus up to 90 bucks plus the pool noodles and the other stuff. So pay attention to that. You're gonna have to see exactly with your particular truck whether or not it's gonna work for you or not. So that was a big deal. Other things that I wish were a little different on this truck bed extender. A lot of kayak bed extenders will actually arch like this. And the reason why they do that is because if you're going up or down a steep driveway or a street that's got a sharp incline, with this type of setup, you're at risk for bottoming out. Now, I knew on the trip that I was gonna make, it was mostly going to be, was that a red scooter that just went by? Awesome. I knew it was mostly gonna be a pretty flat drive. We weren't going to be having a lot of steep inclines. If anything, we had maybe some rolling hills, and I wasn't going to have to go up or down any steep driveways. But if you're in a situation where you're in an area like a downtown Duluth or San Francisco and you're going up or down steep roads or driveways, you may potentially be at risk of bottoming out with your bed extender. So pay attention to that as well. So lastly, would I recommend this truck bed extender? And the answer is, it depends. If you've got a larger budget, I would probably say no. Opt for a different way to transport your kayak. Get one of those more expensive truck bed extenders that's got that curved beam so you don't have to worry about bottoming out with any elevation changes. But if you're on a tight budget and you're gonna be on pretty level ground when you're transporting your kayak, this can be a great budget option for you. Just make sure that when you go to Harbor Freight, they either let you assemble it and verify that that cross beam is level with your tailgate, or that they at least have a good return policy so that you can bring it back if it doesn't work out for you. Guys, thanks for sticking around for this review of the Haulmaster truck bed extender sold at Harbor Freight for only $59.99 right now. Again, links for all these products will be down in the video description. And while you're down there, click the subscribe button and the little bell notification next to it so that you can get all of the latest videos from Fish It First. Until next time, tight lines.